Our cameras remain focused on these and other empowerment programs. Now, Nairobi's Uhuru Park may tomorrow become the stage of what could mark a decisive moment in Kenya's political calendar as the Wiper Patriotic Front holds its National Delegates Conference, where delegates are expected to endorse their party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, as the presidential flag bearer in the 2027 general election. But as Wiper declares its intent to challenge President William Ruto, questions persist beyond Kalonzo's readiness, but about his political mettle in an increasingly tight and competitive political space. NTV senior reporter Ibrahim Karanja interrogates on this week's edition of Politics and Power.
Friday will be deja vu for Kalonzo Musyoka. A man long described as a perennial number 2 in Kenya's politics will once again be on the brink of yet another presidential attempt. The Wiper Party's National Delegates Conference, expected to be attended by party members and key allies, is likely to stamp that Kalonzo Musyoka's name will be on the 2027 presidential ballot. But even as Wiper intends to fly its flag that high, serious questions linger on whether the man seen as the gentleman of Kenyan politics can finally break the ceiling that has long kept him on the margins of power.
He's the kind of leader who doesn't have any baggage. Because you see, one of the things that Kenyans have been talking about is matters corruption. He's clean. He's never lied to people, to the citizens. He's never been involved in a situation where people lost their lives as a result of poor leadership.
Kadhiani lawmaker Robert Mbui is among those confident that Kalonzo is finally ready to take the plunge, this time on his own terms. Yet critics have long argued that Kalonzo's biggest hurdle has been his soft-spoken diplomacy, a trait that wins him friends, but rarely wins him battles in Kenya's bruising political contests.
Sio lazima uwe kwa mtu ambaye unakuja kuzungumza kwa ukali. Sio lazima uwe mtu ambaye anazungumza kwa sauti kubwa. Ndipo ijulikane wewe unaweza kuwa kiongozi. Kiongozi wa nchi sio kiburi, sio uongozi wa nchi haupimwi na kiwango cha kiburi chako.
And now, the man from Sekuru is in an even delicate balancing act with a united opposition whose every principle harbors presidential ambitions. Kalonzo must convince his peers that he is the best among equals to face William Ruto in 2027. That internal competition, though heavily downplayed by the principals, risks diffusing the opposition's energy even before Ruto's Kenya Kwanza, now with a broader political base, mounts its re-election machine. Also forming part of Kalonzo's dilemma are the simmering sibling rivalries and political friction between camps allied to DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua and those linked to former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i, both in the united opposition. For Kalonzo, whose strategy depends on drawing support from both Gachagua's Mount Kenya and parts of the former Western Bloc, including Kisii under Fred Matiang'i, choosing whom to lean on could alienate the other. And it remains to be seen whether Gachagua and Matiang'i or both will attend Friday's Wiper NDC or whether one would skip the event to underscore the hard task ahead for Kalonzo.
There is none better suited to sort out a matter like that than my party leader. He's a diplomat par excellence. He's a kind of person that where people cannot see eye to eye, you find them seated at the same table. These problems they've only just gone out to the media. They've been in existence for a while. But when you see them stand together, sit together, eat together, there's a lot of negotiations that have been taking place. So I will tell you that I believe he's the right person to put the whole team together, and I'm certain he will succeed.
With close to 15 years since its founding, the party's footprint still remains firmly anchored in its Ukambani bastions, and expanding beyond the counties of Makueni, Kitui and Machakos has repeatedly stumbled, sometimes on logistics, sometimes on funding. Observers argue that resources or lack of them continue to weigh heavily on Kalonzo's prospects.
You have to have a base. Without a base, then you can't be strong. So we must ensure that we solidify our base and then start reaching out and going to other regions. Our broader plan is to scale the mountain and hit every corner of the mountain. We've been going to the south rift. We've been in Kajiado several times. We want to go to Narok. So basically, we want to just start getting to different parts of the country, so that by the time we are finishing this year, as a party, we have set up offices, we have met delegates, we have visited corners of the country, so that we can popularize the movement.
Je, Mombasa ni Ukambani? Ama tulipokuwa Western kule, alapo tulipokuwa kule tukipigwa mawe kule Western, huko ni Ukambani? Tulipokuwa kule Laikipia, huko ni Ukambani? Tulipokuwa Meru, huko ni Ukambani? Tukilokuwa Embu, huko ni Ukambani? Anayetaka kukupaka tope atatafuta jinsi ya kukupaka tope. Sisi tuko tayari na tuko na uhakika kwamba tutembea nchi yote. Kuna kaunti 47, tutakwenda zote 47.
Unlike President Ruto, whose political machinery is fueled by deep pockets and extensive grassroots networks, Kalonzo has maintained a modest political presence, coming across as financially cautious or simply as under-resourced.
Sio lazima umhonge Mkenya ndiposa yeye akupigie kura. Na kama ni pesa za campaign, tuko nazo za kutosha. Mheshimiwa Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka na ndugu yake Rigiji wakisaidia na ndugu zake na Eugene, tuko na pesa za kutosha za mount campaign ama kufanya campaign nchi yote ya Kenya bila hata kusita.
Yet Friday's NDC could signal more than a nomination. It may potentially turn out as Kalonzo's declaration of political independence, or it may as well turn out as yet another chapter of deferred ambition. His challenge now is not convincing his loyalists, but persuading the country that he can stand on his own and stand tall against a shrewd incumbent with unrivaled organization and money power.
To vote for somebody that is associated with Ruto, or to vote for Ruto, then you are voting for the status quo of the atrocities and the problems and the suffering to continue. So basically I think there will be that time when we'll ask ourselves, is that money worth the lives that we have lost in the streets of our young children?
Friday, the party will also formally endorse the name Wiper Patriotic Front, moving away from the Wiper Democratic Movement. For Wiper members and supporters of their party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, Friday's NDC will be the launchpad for a more robust presidential push, a push that they hope will end up with their party leader at the House on the Hill. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV from Uhuru Park in Nairobi.